Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am your Muse Traci and I am your favorite manifestation coach. I am here to inspire you and empower you to live the life of your dreams, to create on purpose exactly what you want in all areas of your life, to stop settling and stop suffering. You are not here to suffer. If that sounds good to you, you are more than welcome to subscribe to my channel. I offer one-on-one coaching and I am now offering group coaching to help you transform and revolutionize your life in all areas. In my coaching program, we take a deep dive into your subconscious programming or your belief system, and we do the work to change the programming that is effectively covering up or masking your true nature, which is a brilliant, effortless creator. Most of my clients stay with me 2 to 3 months, some longer, some shorter. To integrate the teachings. It's really all up to you and the level of support that you prefer, that you want to have. So I'll take you through the process of cleaning up your programming. We meet 2 to 3 times a week, depending really on your schedule. It's always 3 unless you have some scheduling conflicts. In between sessions, you have email access to me, you have homework and your own work to do. It's a lot of hand holding and it is an intensive program. An intensive month, I should say, designed to create real transformation in every area of your life. As I like to say, when you change, your life will change, and we return you back to your true nature of being an effortless and unlimited creator. If you're interested in learning more, leave me a comment down below, or you can always send me an email as well. I also just released a free mini course explaining why and how manifesting a specific person is absolutely possible. It's not only possible, you're already always doing it all the time. But I go into the fundamentals. If you are still questioning, if this is your goal and you're questioning and wondering, it's not working, does it work, can it work, why does it work? This mini course is for you. It's absolutely free. You can find the link for that. And I have some other free gifts as well in my bio and on my website. All right, you guys, so today we are talking about how to get rid of a third party. I've had lots of requests for this video recently, and I don't think I've ever done a dedicated video for this topic. I have personal experience with this as well as helping my clients do this. So, and I want to just mention at the beginning of the video, a third party can really be anything. It can be a job. It can be another family member. It can be another, relationship that your person that you're trying to manifest is in, right? So it doesn't have to be, usually we're talking about that. A third party is another person, but it can be anything really that is blocking in the way of your manifestation. Okay, so I just want to mention that right out of the gate so that you can apply this to your situation, whatever the specifics are for your situation. Okay, so let me just talk about the ideal scenario, the ideal way to get rid of a third party, and then I'll go into some other, I guess, possible circumstances. The ideal way to get rid of a third party, maybe I should call it the most effective way, is by not focusing on it, not holding it in your consciousness and therefore holding it in your reality. So your third party, whatever it is, again, a job, laundry can be a third party, or if it is another person, whatever it is that's showing up that is sort of the reason your manifestation isn't here yet, or the reason you can't have your manifestation, I want you to first and foremost understand that this thing, person, thing, situation, circumstance is your creation. This is super important for you to remember because it puts you back in creator mode and you're not in victim mode. You're not a victim to this person or circumstance being here. I'm just going to say person from now on because you guys understand it can be anything. It doesn't have to be a person. Just for simplifying the rest of the video. So this person is your creation. They are a projection of your mind. They are a projection of your fears, doubts, insecurities, worries, and really beliefs about yourself. Almost all the time, a third party is created by your thought that you're not enough, that you're not chosen, that you are not, that you're not enough, basically, and that someone else will be chosen over you. Now, your self-concept, as you've heard me talk about before, and I will be doing more dedicated videos to your self-concept, but your self-concept is who you choose to be. Okay, now that you're aware that your thoughts create, you're aware of law of assumption, maybe you didn't choose your past self-concept, but going forward, your concept of yourself is what you are choosing to be. So if you want to be beautiful, you choose that. If you want to be magnetic, you choose that. If you want to be successful, you choose that. If you want to be enough, you choose that. You're not waiting for someone else to grant you that or grant that quality, that essence to you. It doesn't work that way. Your self-concept is who you choose to be, what you decide. It's like the avatar, in a video game. How do you want to dress it up? What qualities do you want to give the avatar? That's what you're doing when you choose your self-concept. So make it grand, make it amazing, make it beautiful, make it exactly what you want it to be, and practice that. Practice thinking of yourself in that way. Practice claiming that about yourself before you have any evidence. The evidence will follow. That's how this works. But you don't have to wait for the evidence to be there. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you, hey, you know what, you're chosen now. It actually most likely will not ever work that way. You can get glimpses, you can get pieces here and there showing you what's possible, inspiring you, but the full picture needs to originate within you. As within, so without, right? It starts with you, because that's what everything outside is. It's a reflection, it's a copy machine of what's going on inside of you. So choose what it is that you want to be reflected in this grand mirror that is your reality. Choose deliberately, choose consciously, choose, what is the word that I want to choose? Choose boldly. You don't need to be humble. This is not the time to be humble when you're choosing your self-concept. And, you don't have to tell anyone about it, but within you, it's not the time to be humble. Go big. This is your reality. This is how the avatar that you want to move through your reality in. So make it exactly what you prefer. You don't need to fit into anyone else's criteria. This is about what you want. So super important to first and foremost understand the third party is your creation. It is a projection of your mind. Okay, cool. Now that you know that, well, if you don't want that to continue to be projected into your reality, the most efficient thing to do, the most effective thing to do is to remove that from your mind, from your consciousness, which means if you are talking about a third party with your specific person, every time this comes up in your mind, either the third party or the SP, right? You need to change it in your mind. You need to create something different to be projected out on the screen of space. We're not waiting for the evidence to be out there, okay? Super important. We're not waiting for the evidence to be out there to change the assumption. It does not work that way. Never has, never will. So you're changing the assumption right now, the day you heard about the third party, you go ahead and you change the assumption, right? We're not saying, oh yeah, new relationship, they got to go through this phase, this phase, this phase. They got to fight a little, they got to struggle. No, none of that actually has to be. That's all unconscious creation is what that is, because that's not what you would choose. That's not what you prefer. So let's not create that. So the day you hear about the third party, you go, oh, okay, whoopsies. I remember having a fear about that. I remember having an insecurity about that, but I'm going to change all of it starting right now, not when I have evidence, but right now. So you go ahead and you assume third party is gone. SP is committed to me and only me. Okay? Feel free to do that immediately. We're not waiting for evidence. We're not doing the comparison thing. Please do not compare. This is not about comparison. There's only competition in your reality if you say there is competition. So in other words, let me explain what I mean by comparison. So if you're thinking, oh, I just learned about this third party, and you have a moment where you forget that's my creation, and you start to justify why the third party is there because you forgot it's your creation, you are adding layers. You're adding unnecessary layers. You're forgetting that this is your reality, that that's just a projection of your mind. And now if you go into comparison, wow, they must be amazing. They must be special. They must be talented. They must be blah, 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 whatever it is. You're adding layers. You don't need to do that. You don't want to do that. That will not be helpful for you. So that's why the first thing for you to do is remember that's my creation. Because when you remember that's my creation, you don't have to figure out why that's there. It's there because I'm not laughing. I know this is not a fun and light situation, but you don't need to figure out why that's there. That is there because, like I said before, your insecurities, your doubts, your fears, your worries, your uncontrolled, unconscious thoughts, really. We can just call it that. It's unconscious thoughts. Anything in your reality that is not of your preference was created from an unconscious thought. Okay, so I'm also not saying that's your creation to then create blame and shame. Not helpful. Not helpful. So this is the result of my unconscious thoughts. Okay, good. So then when I know that, I don't have to figure out why that's there. I know why that's there. Now I can go about simply changing it. And again, I want to reiterate this. We're not waiting for evidence to change the assumption. The evidence follows. And this is how, you guys, so important. This is how people hold a third party in place for an extended period of time. Okay, I want you to super understand this. The third party is not there because that's how it is now. If the third party is continuing to be there, that is also your creation. You are holding it there with your continued assumption that that person is there. That person is there. That person is there. And so that continues to be what you align yourself with. There is a parallel reality right now where that person is not there. So you are the one that moves. You are the one that changes. Your consciousness is the thing that changes. Out there never changes. You change your concept, your consciousness, your assumption. And then you, as the consciousness, as the awareness, become aligned with a different parallel reality where the third party is no longer there. You're not waiting for the evidence of that to change your assumption. That's how they get held there, okay? You have to go first. Super important for you guys to understand. All right. Now, I want to talk about another, because I know, okay, some of you have the luxury of this third party not being right here. In other words, your situation doesn't include you having to see them, speak to them. You don't have constant evidence bombarding you. Okay, so that's one scenario. And if that's your scenario, then the first part of this video is for you to implement. Now, for others of you that have circumstances where the third party is being reminded, you're being reminded of the third party in your physical 3D reality constantly because of that's just your situation, right? The circumstances, maybe it includes children or for whatever reason. It can be a multitude of reasons. If you have it more in your face with constant evidence, you're not really doing anything different other than saying third party is over there now with someone else. They're not with SP. They're now over there with someone else, right? And every time the evidence is again in your face, you go back to your chosen assumption. And you're not waiting for that to be in your 3D before you choose the assumption. Every time it shows up, text message, phone call, in person, whatever it is, you do the same thing. You can do this if you understand the law, if you understand who you are, if you understand who they are, that's your creation, and you understand how you shift and move into parallel realities, you can do this. If you're struggling with this, you probably need to have a deeper understanding of some of the fundamentals, which you can go and watch in some of my other videos. You can sign up for coaching with me. You know, it's important that you understand the fundamentals, because if you don't, then the things that are, you know, the techniques, it could become easy to apply them when you have this opposite thing in your face all the time, all the time, all the time. I'm not saying it has to be hard or it's impossible, but if you don't have that foundational understanding of who you are and what they are and what you're doing and why you're doing it, that can be difficult. That can be challenging. That can be tripping you up. Okay, so it's important to understand the fundamentals when you're trying to do this. That's always where I start with you guys. I always want to bring you back to this, because that allows you to do the techniques, whatever you're trying to do, and have the full picture, right? You're not just learning how to visualize or how to affirm and not truly understanding who you are and what reality is. No, you want to have that fundamental, that foundational understanding. And it's so subtle in Neville's teachings, but it's so important. It's what makes visualizing so powerful, that you understand your imagination is God. You understand that if you did it in your mind, it's done. It's done. And you don't need evidence. You don't need signs. You don't need things to be different. You don't need that. You can easily drop it and let go and allow your manifestation to show up in your reality without creating resistance. If your manifestation isn't showing up, it's not because you're failing. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It is most likely you are creating the resistance somehow, some way. And if you trust, if you have full faith and full understanding of who you are and how all of this works, that's when you can really let go and you can create unto your faith. You can have more faith and more trust in what you're doing and why you're doing it and how all of this works. So I did want to mention that because it's slightly different, right? If you never have the evidence, reminder of third party, yeah, a little bit easier for you. Don't make it hard. That is your benefit. So don't go on social media looking, did they separate yet? Is she gone? Is he gone? Don't do that. You don't need that evidence. That's old stuff. Your evidence isn't going to be found out there. Okay. So use it to your advantage if you don't have that constantly in your face. If you do, you can still do it. It's not, impossible. It may be more challenging for you. The technique is really the same. Every time you have the evidence, you go back to your chosen assumption, understanding who you are, understanding that's simply your creation. You no longer choose that. That was your unconscious projection. Whoopsies, right? Just see it as a whoopsies. I know these things can feel a lot more serious and heavy, but it really doesn't have to, you guys. It really doesn't have to. There's a quote by Neil Donald Walsh. I'm not going to say this is a quote. This is a sentiment in the book because I don't have the quote written down, so I might get it. This is a paraphrasing of this quote. So it's something like, nothing is fearful that you understand isn't real. Something like that from Conversations with God. So your 3D reality is an illusion. It's an illusion. It's made up by you. Okay? So if you truly understand that, there is nothing for you to fear. You don't have to fear this person. You don't have to fear this third party, whatever flavor it's showing up for you. When you understand that that is your creation, when you understand it's a projection of your mind, when you understand it's an illusion, there is nothing to fear. There's nothing to fear. All right, you guys, this is my video on how to get rid of a third party. Leave me a comment down below. Leave me a success story. I know some of you have already done this. It doesn't have to be hard. If you bring it back to what it really is, your creation, It's very easy. It's very simple. Okay? So those of you that maybe have been struggling with this for a while, it's probably the case that you are thinking this person has power now. This is a real thing. No, nothing outside of you has the power. Biggest mistake you do is give your power away to something outside of you. So bring it back to the simplicity of what it really is. This is your creation. This is an oopsie. This is the product of your unconscious thoughts. And now, right now, if you didn't start before this video, you start right now watching this video. I have a new assumption. And you just commit to it and you practice that and you don't move. You don't move from your assumption. You stay there. All right, you guys, leave me a comment and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.